So you're an airline pilot, you're approaching the mandatory 65 retirement age. There are a few things that you probably should consider before you set the parking brake for the final time. Here at Wise Wealth Management, we work with hundreds of pilots as they approach retirement. And one of the things that we always focus on is making sure you have a good cash reserve balance. Typically for when you're working years, you want 3 to 6 months of your expenses, et cetera, all the standard stuff you hear. But as you get closer to retirement, you really want to extend that out. You want to have about 2 years of reserve. It does not necessarily have to be in a savings account. It could be inside your retirement account in like a stable value fund or something that is fairly safe on the principal amount. Ultimately, we want to do this because typically airline pilots have saved well for retirement. A lot of times they have military pensions that they're already collecting, in addition to maybe PBCG money from defaulted airline pensions from 08 and 09 era. But ultimately, if you're in a situation where you don't have to withdraw monthly from your 401k plan, you could actually have a little more aggressive approach in retirement. You think mostly retirement is 60-40 or 50-50 stocks and bonds. You can probably go as high as 70-30 in retirement if you're wanting the wealth to continue to grow in the market. So your IRAs, brokerage accounts could take on slightly more stock risk inside the portfolio. We always recommend using low-cost index funds when building portfolios, so it mitigates any specific company risk that you have in investing. But one step is to make sure that you've done your expense planning. You know how much a 2-year reserve would mean for you, and then find places to hold that. It's much easier today with higher yield savings. Another thing you want to do, and it's less about money, but it's just finding a sense of purpose. What is it you're going to do after you've set the parking brake? So many people that we know over the years have had maybe some health issues after retirement, partially because I think mentally they never really had a purpose other than their career over so many years. There's so many different types of organizations you can get involved in that bring you a lot of joy, and I would encourage you to look for that. It could be family, it could be non-aviation related, but there's a lot of things that you can be doing. Just think about those things. Maybe make a list with your spouse on what the game plan is post retirement. The other part is doing the planning, understanding that your estate is set up properly with the wills or trust, power of attorney, medical directives, making sure that you're properly insured for the activities that you'll be doing post-retirement, and then allocating your money. So for Delta American United, they all have very similar 401k plans, and those are great for your growing years when you're trying to build wealth. But as you're maintaining wealth in retirement, and maybe even in some cases spending down assets, typically those funds need to leave those plans because that's not what those plans were built for. There's many different bond options, cash management options that can be deployed using good financial advisors. Reach out if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.